Let's talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. I have had so much fun playing this game. So much so that I've actually beaten this game and I keep coming back to it. But what has me coming back to it? It's the combat. It's 100% the combat. It is so good in this game. Oh my god. I mean just look at this. Mm, that's nice. There is just something oh so satisfying about being able to climb on top of these massive monsters and just cling on and just do damage and just jump off and dart around. It just makes you feel so small and yet so powerful. So when I started the game, I started as a mage. I usually like to play as the magic user. The high damage glass cannon build just speaks to me in a way that a lot of other things don't. But the second that I started playing as a thief, I was hooked. Just the quick movements, the ability to climb on top of enemies and just slash, slash, slash super fast. It's just so fun to play as, especially when you level it up. But to start, there are 4 different paths that you can choose, or vocations. These are essentially your classes. So you can be a mage, which starts as a damage dealer, but eventually on higher levels, it really is built to be a support character, which is fine because it's great that they incorporate that and you can be a support for your party. I like to see that. The thief is the dual dagger wielder, very quick. I wouldn't say glass cannon, but definitely built to get in, do damage, and get out. There's the archer, where you kind of stand back and you just deal damage over time. And then there's the fighter, which is the up in the face of the enemy, tanking hits with your shield type of gameplay. And they're all very good. I have played all of these classes and I enjoy them very much. Thief, the most. Mage is decent. I'm not big on being a support character, but it is still good. And I'm glad that they incorporated it in the game. Now, all of these vocations are always open to you, which is really interesting and really cool. So you're never really locked into a single type, a single class, which does kind of kill the replayability aspect of it, but it also gives you a certain freedom to choose whatever you want whenever you want and just try everything and find out what you really like to play. As the game progresses, you do get access to more advanced vocations. They are the Mystic Spearhand, which was my favorite of these, where you get a damage shield that you can also give to your allies if they're close to you. You have a dual headed spear that you use to damage enemies. You can use your primary ability to hit them and then transport yourself to them very quickly. And it is very good for getting in to the thick of battle and doing a lot of damage very quickly. It is very fun to play. You also get a kind of force power where you can pick enemies up and toss them, which is really fun to use. There's the sorcerer, which is the damage version of the damage focus version of a magical character, where you have these very big AoE spells that you can cast out. They take a while to cast, much longer than the mage. You do have a quick cast button, but it does take a lot of stamina. You have a way to get that stamina back, but it is a lot of waiting for this one, so it wasn't really my favorite as far as magic characters go. It does work though. There's the trickster. The main point of this one is to use your phantom to distract enemies and keep them from damaging your teammates. This one I was not a big fan of either. There's the warrior, which is the very high damage, very slow, big sword wielding anime monster hunter character. And there is the warfare, which is a mix and match. For the cost of one of your abilities, you can actually change and put multiple different vocations together. It does make for some interesting combinations, but it does cost you in the sense that you don't get to use the Meister abilities, which are the most powerful abilities for the vocations in the game, and you only get 3 abilities to use. So there is a bit of a trade-off on this one. The world of Dragon's Dogma 2 is very big and very open, but not open in the way that a Breath of the Wild is open, more so in like a 2010s era action RPG game where you have these main roadways, like a Fable type game, or like a Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning type game. You have these open areas, but then roadways in between. It is a little more streamlined as far as moving from point A to point B. You will find a ton of different things to fight in this game. Some of them are basically just a different version of the same thing. Like when it comes to goblins and knackers, there are a bunch of different types of harpies, which are the most annoying enemy in this game. And they'll even throw your teammates off of cliffs or high points to kill them, which is kind of cool in like that they're smart, I guess, but it is really annoying when it happens. But there are some really, really unique and cool monsters to fight in this game. And when you happen upon them, it's just so much fun to fight them. They have different weak points and different ways that you can weaken them. That's all I'll really say about that. But yeah, definitely do a lot of exploring in this game, and you will find so many cool things and cool little areas, and get into some seriously amazing fights. You will be spending a lot of time running from town to town to do the quests. So early on, I would definitely recommend trying out the different vocations because there's only one fast travel point, and fast travel is not free. It is quite expensive, especially early on. It does get a little more accessible as the game goes on, but if you are changing vocations very early, running in between town to town, it's less of you're thinking about just fighting the same monsters and more of focusing on what does it feel like to play this particular vocation? Do I really like it? How can I use this strategically? It just becomes so much more fun. So definitely something that I would recommend. The story is very okay. It's kind of generic. You're a chosen one. The dragon chooses you, and now it is your job to slay said dragon. It works as far as it gives you a reason from going to point A to point B. I'm not going to go too far into this in case you haven't played the game, but some things happen. Some things don't go the way that they're supposed to, and because of that, it takes you on a journey, and the story really just works as a way to get you to move through the world more than anything else. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just not great. The side quests are pretty good. There are multiple endings to some of them, which does give a reason for the new game plus, but monster levels don't increase. You do get new gear, but there's nothing really more to fight with it if you've already explored the whole world. If you haven't explored the whole world, then I definitely recommend going back in with New Game Plus and just seeing the locations that you missed out on. As far as your party is concerned, these are what are called pawns. You get to create your own, and then you can take up to two of somebody else's. These are created by other players, and there's a secret little difficulty thing here where the less pawns you take, the more difficult the game is, because otherwise the game is not very difficult. When people use your pawns, they can give you gifts, and you get experience, and when you use somebody else's pawn, when you're done with that pawn, you can also give them a gift. The game world is very dense, though. It is very packed full of just little, just points of interest and tons of caves to explore. And none of the caves really feel copy pasted. They do feel very handcrafted, and you will discover different enemy types in these caves and just random small areas that you find just by exploring the map. And they do have a ton of treasure chests to find and uncover. These do eventually just kind of get old, but it is a kind of a good way to get you to want to explore and give you a reason to explore. But mostly the most fun for me was just discovering these enemies types that I would not have otherwise discovered. And sometimes enemies will attack you while you're attacking other enemies, and mayhem will ensue. And sometimes you'll come across two very large enemies fighting each other, and you can just watch them slug it out or get involved and kill both of them. And it's really cool when these moments happen, and it's just so much fun to explore this world and to fight all of these different things and to progress your vocation until you become an unstoppable force of nature. Overall, I love this game. I will be continuing to play this game into the near future. You can tell that this game was not expected to be as big as it was. They have so far sold 13 million copies, according to Capcom's website, which is awesome. But the one before this, the original, did not sell anywhere near that well. So you can kind of see in the post-game, they did release patches and fixes and things like that, but there's no DLC seemingly planned for any time in the future. You can tell it wasn't expected to do super well because the first one had just a bit of a cult following. But I do think with the success of this game, there probably will be a 3. I hope there is a 3, and I hope they work to refine some of the rough edges of this game, because there's definitely things that could be better. This is not a 10 out of 10 game. It's just a really, really fun game to play. And if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. But with all that said, what do you think of Dragon's Dogma 2? Have you played it? Are you interested in playing it? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and have a great day.